6 p.m. Cairo local time. You're tuned in to Channel 2. This is Miran Ghaznawi, and it's time for the news bulletin, always starting with the headlines. President Abdel Sisi concludes a visit to Djibouti after talks with President Ismail Omar Guelleh. Senior state officials congratulate President Abdel Sisi on Sinai Liberation Day. And Israeli occupation air raids hit a school, sheltering displaced people in Gaza, killing at least 10 people. Welcome back with the news in full, where President Abdel Sisi on Wednesday concluded a visit to Djibouti, where he met with President Ismail Omar Guelleh. The two leaders discussed means of fostering bilateral relations between the two Arab and African nations. President Abdel Sisi and Djibouti's president also discussed regional situation in the Red Sea and the Horn of Africa. The meeting then expanded to comprise delegations from both countries. After the talks, the two leaders signed a number of cooperation agreements in many fields. The Djiboutian leader also held a lunch banquet on President Abdel Sisi's honor. Egypt intensifies its engagement with Djibouti on multiple fronts, notably in economy. The two countries are working closely on infrastructure projects, including Egyptian logistics zone in Djibouti. The two leaders also discussed security cooperation, especially in regional conflicts and threats. House of Representatives Speaker Hanafi Gebeli on Wednesday sent a gable of greetings for President Abdel Sisi, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, marking the 43rd Sinai Liberation Day. The Speaker described April 25, 1982 has been one of the main gains of the Great October 1973 war victory. Also, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli sent greeting cable to the President on Sinai Day. Armed Forces General Commander Defense Minister General Abdelmajid Sakr also greeted President Abdel Sisi on the occasion, wishing happy returns of the day with best of health for the President and security and stability for the nation. Minister of the Interior Major General Mahmoud Tawfiq also congratulated the President on Sinai Liberation Day. In the cable, the Interior Minister said the anniversary is a source of inspiration for the future generations, as it reminds us of the sacrifices made by the armed forces personnel in dignity battles with the aim of ensuring victory for the nation. The day commemorates the return of the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt's custody upon the completion of its liberation. Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Ati stressed Egypt's keen interest in bolstering economic Egyptian-U.S. cooperation. Meeting with a delegation from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in Cairo, the top diplomat hailed the Chamber's role in enhancing economic and investment relations. Abdel Ati highlighted recent encouraging developments, notably the approval of U.S. car safety specification following lengthy negotiations and the signing of an agreement on mutual aid customs affairs between the U.S. side and the Egyptian Customs Authority. Arab League General Secretary Ahmed Abul Ghait on Wednesday renewed denouncing ongoing Israeli genocide war in the Gaza Strip, as well as the aggression against Lebanon and Syria. He was addressing a press conference following an Arab foreign ministers meeting in Cairo as part of the 163rd session of the Arab League's Council. Abul Ghait said the meeting comes as the Arab League celebrates 80 years since it was established. El-Chief said Israel returns to genocide war in Gaza despite the January ceasefire deal, deploring international silence over the killing of more than 51,000 people. For his part, Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi, whose country is the current president of the Pan-Arab bloc, said the ministerial meeting discussed priority files, notably the Palestinian cause. The meeting also discussed strengthening joint Arab action on political, economic, and social levels amid intricate regional developments and rising political and security challenges in the region. The Arab foreign ministers' meeting was in preparation for the upcoming Arab summit scheduled for May 17th and also addresses situations in Libya, Yemen, Sudan, and Somalia. Israeli airstrikes in the Gaza Strip killed at least 20 people on Wednesday. An Israeli attack hit the Yafa school in the Tufah area of Gaza City, which is sheltering displaced families in northern Gaza, killing at least 10 Palestinian civilians. In the hospital in Gaza City, damaging the intensive care unit and destroying the solar panel system that feeds the facility with power. No one was killed in the hospital. Medics said the airstrike on the Yafa school set fire to tents and classrooms where displaced people were sleeping, leaving many bodies charred. Hundreds of thousands have been forced from their homes as Israel seized what it calls a buffer zone of Gaza's land. Human Rights Watch accused Israel on Wednesday of indiscriminate attacks on civilians during its recent war with Hezbollah, saying 2 deadly strikes in East Lebanon should be investigated as war crimes. A November 27 ceasefire sought to end to the hostilities between the two sides that began with Israel escalations in parallel with Israeli war launched against Palestinians, particularly in the Gaza Strip, since October 2023. More than 4,000 people were killed in the Israeli war in Lebanon, most of them during 2 months of all-out war that erupted in September. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said on Wednesday the new U.S. sanctions against Iran's energy sector point to Washington's lack of goodwill and seriousness over dialogue with Tehran. On Tuesday, Washington targeted an Iranian liquefied petroleum gas magnate with sanctions, which fall within the scope of President Donald Trump's maximum pressure campaign. Both high-level and expert-level talks are to take place this Saturday in Oman to begin drawing up a framework for a potential deal over Iran's disputed nuclear program. And to the world of economy, where Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli today said that the government seeks to provide a more competitive investment atmosphere to facilitate activities of the local and foreign investors in the national market. Chairing a weekly cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister pointed out to a recent tour he made earlier this week at the 10th of Ramadan city, which mainly aimed at getting a first-hand knowledge of the challenges facing investors on the ground. The meeting touched on development works in different sectors, as well as the procedures taken to boost the care for the low-income and provide the citizens' needs. Minister of Finance Ahmed Kujok said today that the upcoming changes in the world trade makes of Africa an optimal destination for foreign direct investments. The minister made these remarks on the sidelines of his participation in the International Monetary Fund World Bank spring meetings in Washington. He clarified that the investment atmosphere will be more encouraging in the continent, given the availability of manufacturing potential potential and employment with the least cost compared to other countries worldwide. Kojok noted that Egypt's economic position enables it to build stronger trade ties with neighboring states, adding that the government is currently working to enhance the national economy's competitiveness through boosting the industrial basis, increasing exports, and diversifying trade. Egypt's bourse closed higher today amid purchases by local and Arab corporations and Arab investors against sell-offs by foreign corporations and local and foreign investors. The market capital of listed companies added 44 billion Egyptian pounds, reaching 2.2 trillion pounds at the end of transactions. The benchmark index EGX 30 rose at 2.6% above the 31,640-point mark. The equal-weighted indices EGX 70 and EGX 100 climbed at 1.3% and 1.5% respectively. Moving to the world of sport, where Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta said he has no plans to rotate the team and rest players for the midweek Premier League meeting with Crystal Palace in preparation for next week's Champions League semi-final against Paris Saint-Germain. Barcelona inched closer to La Liga title with a 1-0 win over Mallorca. The win lifted Barca to 76 points at the top of La Liga standings, with Real, who visited Getafe later today, 7 points adrift with a game in hand. Mallorca are 7th on 44 points. Barcelona have 5 games remaining in La Liga, including a mouth-watering Clásico showdown against Real Madrid on May 11. Dear viewers, by this we come to the end of our news bulletin, but do stay tuned for more.